Namaste and welcome to the course of Introduction to Mechanical Engineering. Well, dear ones, today's session we're gonna try to understand what is this solar distillation is all about. Look, seems to be a bigger number, a bigger name in it, solar distillation, but a very simple and a very clear concept runs beside this word saying solar distillation. So try to understand what is the solar energy. Well known to every one of you, you would have a lot of solar energy conversion sort into an heat, water or even within a power. So nowadays the solar energy seems to be quite normal to everyone's life. As you can see thus, the solar dough has its own radiation energy from the sun exactly and produces the heat or electricity, right, using various technologies. Like if I use a PV cell, it states to be a separate form of energy, and if I say a distillation, it's another a separate form of energy or a purpose or a application, right. Then very important, it's a renewable energy. It can be exhausted, it can be used, and everywhere it's available all around the globe. Yeah, I won't say that 100%, but yes, it's available all around the globe, and it's a pure form of alternate to fossil fuels, which is again an exhaustible resource, fossil fuels. So now how do we say this solar radiation, or you may call it as a heat from a solar or a beam of a solar, what are this and how do we commonly classify them? Like, it's been classified in three terms. One is direct beam, second one is indirect beam, and last one is global. In other way, direct radiation, indirect radiation and global radiation. So now what is this direct radiation is all about? Just imagine a ray from a sun falls directly on an object. In this case, you could see over here in the diagram, the solar beam is directly falling on the tree, if I say an object, right? If that beam or radiation that falls over from a sun to a direct object, we call them as a direct radiation or direct beam. Try to understand what is this indirect beam or radiation or diffused beam or radiation. If you can see over here, it's a one such beam which doesn't fall so direct on an object, but instead it falls on some other object reflected from that and goes to the source. We call them as a diffused radiation, right? And those diffused radiations may be due to the object which has been present right besides the what you call a main thing, or even dust particles in atmosphere or water particles in atmosphere. Whenever the beam falls over there and rebounds it, all those beams comes under the category of diffused radiation or indirect radiation. Other way, diffused beam or indirect beam. Now what is this global radiation is all about? It's a summation of direct beam and diffused beam. Somewhere the people will say that the diffused radiation, what is the diffused radiation or what is this global radiation? Global radiation is all about the summation of direct radiation and the diffused radiation, right? So by knowing a small concept of what is this radiation beam, types of radiation beam, let's go in depth of what is this distillation process is all about. Name itself says it's a distillation somewhere correlates to water. I may say that it's a process of converting a saline water or in other way a common one to say a dirt water into a drinkable form. Yes, this is distillation. Now, how do we do this? By using solar is a process what we call the solar distillation, right? It's another way we say that it's a method of removing salt and other impurities, making it useful for producing drinking water. Especially this comes in existence wherever the places are quite remote, hence to find a water, that too drinking water, a clean water which can be usable, right? So let's try to understand how do this solar distillation works like. So you can see over in the sketch, yeah. What all we need in order to have this, one is a basin. Basin is somewhat a structure in which it looks like a basin, right, and it has been insulated so that neither the temperature comes in from outside atmosphere, neither the temperature from inside the whole basin goes out of it. In order to maintain a temperature, we need to insulate that whole basin, right? And next one is a glass cover upon which the glass is covered, but make a point that here the glass is laid slant. I'll come to that why this slant is needed over here, right? So henceforth, yeah, we drop in a saline water, which is not at all useful for drinking. Let's imagine that saline water is an impure water form or a mud water which is poured inside this basin, right? As we know that sun has its own radiation, I mean heat. When this heat or radiation falls over this equipment, the rays flows through this glass cover and reaches the water. Water gets heated up and henceforth it evaporates. As it gets evaporated, it's lighter in weight, it flows towards upper side and stick to the glasses. After a while, that water which has been evaporated will be condensed and converted into a water droplet. Since of the gravity, it rolls down. As I said that the topmost glass cover is fitted slant enough, so due to the gravity, it flows to the bottom side where the fresh water is collected, and that fresh water is being gathered through this water collection through and been stored in a water. In this way, the saline water can be converted into a drinkable form of water or usable form of water by solar radiation. All the way, if I could say the summary of it, yes, here saline water, heat of an the sun, I mean the radiation of a sun falls over the water, water get evaporated and it flows and stick to the slant glass. Due to the condensation, it converts into a water droplet, flows all over to the bottom part of a glass part, and over there we do have a channel through where the fresh water or the drinkable water can be collected. And this is how the distillation, actual distillation equipment looks like, and it's more useful in a place or in the place where the scarcity of drinking water is more. Thank you.